Father, is this the final vote? Like, there's only 100 of us here, and there's 1,200 people in the parish, and it's not really fair just to go by what the 100 people here who voted. Again, it's not a vote. This is not a vote. I tried to say at Mass today, when I invited folks to join us, and we tried to say it in the bulletin announcements, that this is the beginning of the conversation. You know, we were tasked to do a sustainability study. This is the stage where we've come now. We've got lots and lots and lots of praying and discussion to do. So please, please, please don't think that wherever you put your dots today is like a final vote of some kind. It's the beginning of a conversation. You know, and it's obvious when you see where the votes or where the stickers have been placed that not everybody sees things the same way. And I think the greatest thing that can come, and a sign of real Christian maturity, is that we can stay at the table and talk to each other. And that nobody's got to say, well, just because I don't see it the same way that you do, I'm leaving the table. And it's like, no, let's all stay at the same table and let's keep talking to each other. Another thing that keeps coming back to me is the place where we are is not a place that's new to us. I have letters, and I'm going to post them on our website, but I have letters that were written by the Bishop of Cleveland dating back to 1895. In 1895, there was such squabbling going on between the people of St. Nicholas and St. Boniface over boundary lines and over who was going where, that the bishop wrote a strong letter that was to be read at all masses, where he clearly delineated the boundaries and said that these people shall not go there, and those people cannot have sacraments from there, and this priest will not go there. In 1895. A second letter was written. That was in February of 1895. In November of 1895, the same bishop wrote a letter about the squabbling going on between St. Patrick's and St. Nicholas, or St. Boniface, over boundary lines and over who can go where for sacraments. And 1895, do you know how loud the squabbling had to be in order for it to be heard in Cleveland? In order for it to be a second letter to be written? A third letter was written. And it had to do with the squabbling going on with St. Peter's people and boundary lines that were written. And the closing of the letter from the bishop in 1897 says, the sad mistake was that these churches were built too near together. In 1897, they could recognize the difficulty because we built our churches so close together. So we have inherited the great challenges that have been laid by our predecessors. We've inherited all the great grace and all the great good that's happened because of that, but we've also inherited the great challenges that were obvious all the way back to 1897. So, Sister Marcia, would you lead us in a song that would help us? Could you just pull something out of your sleeve? Why not? We are many parts. Let's try that. see Jerry and Urban working their way up forward here. Just so you do know, we will be posting the whole over 100-page report on our parish website. It's way more thorough than any of their summary slides show. They have line items for all of the concerns that they pointed out. There's a lot more pictures showing where some of those specific concerns are. That'll be available on the website. We hope that the video also that's being videotaped today, thanks to Steve Kimmin, we do hope that that too will be available on the website so that this is just a beginning conversation and just a beginning presentation. We're going to do all we can to share as much of this information with the entire parish. The summary statements, again, that you will receive will remind you of some of the things that we saw today. We will try to come up with another kind of summary statement, too, that we hope to send home to every parish household so that we're beginning to have this conversation. A couple of things that I noticed, too, in the presentation. It didn't show it, but we have a cemetery at St. Patrick's. It's just not on site because St. Patrick's Church was originally somewhere else, and there was a fire, and when they rebuilt it, they didn't rebuild right next to where their cemeteries were. So there is a cemetery associated with St. Patrick. And I do think some of those numbers for our occupancy in our churches just got mixed around, I think. And that was probably our error in passing them on to you, and we'll try to correct that. So, but Jerry and Urban, thanks.
Also, before I forget, we do have a copy of today's presentation. Some of you grabbed those, but as you leave today, be sure you grab a copy of the presentation, and again, it has the options on it. Our final report that Father mentioned will be online. Will have the results of the stickering. I'm trying to find a good word for not voting. It's stickering today, and wanted to do that to you. So I want to report on what we saw that you told us today, and see if that's is what you felt in your heart as we go through. You just want to hold that one up from your. This one's the appear to be. Come over here. There we go. This was a clear no. It had the most red dots, which is basically let's not just renovate what we have, and that's what we're interpreting the red dots as. Good report, but we need to do more. That just fixing what we have in place, we need to look at another, to invest more than just simply that and do something different. So we got a pretty strong no. As you see, the number of reds on that one was pretty strong in that regard. The greens were two interesting green approaches. The first green was option 7, which was focusing everything in New Regal on one ministry center and building a new parish hall. There was some confusion in the back about fellowship hall and parish hall, but I hope that we were clear about that one. But this one had the majority of greens and yellows, and you see only 3, 4 red dots that said, no way, I don't want to do that one. So that one seemed to be a strong impulse. Again, I think we need to, in fairness, look and see who came today. And look at that number as well. But we heard that as a pretty strong yes for that. I want to flip this board over. I have 2 more green dots beside you. So this one had as many green dots as some of the second place ones have, but it has an equal and greater number of red dots. So this one was the brand new ministry center for everybody. There were some of you who said, that's a great idea, let's try that, let's look at that one. But I had an equal or more number saying no way. So in our minds, that kind of negated the 2 of those out. Though some of you are bold adventurers, there's enough of you who said no way, Jose, that would maybe make that one a little bit more difficult. But I just wanted to show you how interesting, how many greens and yellows who would say, I might be interested in looking at that, were on that one, okay? Then we really had a tie for what we would think would be our second place. This one was, again, focusing on New Regal. They went about building a new fellowship hall with leading the school. And that was pretty equal to, turn on the backside, I believe. And pretty similar to just focusing on St. Patrick's and All Saints in terms of dots. But second to the number one we gave you, which was everything focusing on New Regal. So, pretty strong in number one. Number one was over 50 positive dots, and these are down in the 30s. So you've gotten a lot more positive dots in the first one. And I just, with looking at that, I think you have told us some interesting things today. Anyone have any comments from what they see that they would like to share with us today? Or even we can open up for questions today as to what we'd like to, anything we'd like to finish up with this afternoon. Yes, sir.
What was the response on option one, doing nothing?
Doing nothing. If I can look over there, it looks like about 6 red dots and only 1 green. We had one person that said no, yes, let's do nothing. Okay. So I'm happy for that one vote. That's great. That's why we're here. We want everyone to vote, sticker. I'm happy for the one sticker. That's good for someone to be able to express that. Others? Yes, ma'am.
Why can't you make the rectory upstairs an apartment in either one of the rectories?
For the use of the priest or for?
For the priests.
Oh, we actually they function that way now. We can't do
Yeah,
that.
but you're saying you have to sit at the table like a miracle and stuff to eat his meals and stuff. Why can't you have a kitchen and everything upstairs?
Well, with some renovation, I guess we could do that one. There's still the privacy issues of he's upstairs on his day off and people are downstairs and whatever.
You know,
Possibly.
apartment.
Possibly. Okay. Didn't look at that option, to be honest with you. Yes, sir.
Is there a way you can still, I guess I can try to minority and get one of the other parishes to Frenchtown. Is there a way you can still keep Alameda, Frenchtown, Waverly available for people, for weddings? Are you interested in one of those churches? I can see it.
And I think that's, again, a step for you guys to take. You certainly can do nothing to them, but by keeping them, you are maintaining them, you are keeping them in perpetuity. That way, if that's your choice, that's what you want to do.
Did you leave them on an as-needed basis or just repair as you need?
That's your choice again. That was really option number 1, which was do nothing with them other than when they start failing on you. That was including here. I know that, but in that thought philosophy. So that's why I clarified. I didn't exactly know what decommissioning meant in terms of where's your park. Some of those are beautiful churches, and we know that. And it's very difficult to make that choice. But if you say, okay, I want, for instance, St. Nicholas to be preserved, you have to make that commitment. And I think the commitment needs to be done in resources as well as activity. But that's what the choice you have to make. Yes, ma'am.
I agree with Bob. I need to see these parishes that our forefathers worked hard to build and we worked hard to maintain totally be decommissioned like some have been, of the previous years. Maintaining them and keeping them for weddings or funerals, other special occasions would be wonderful. And by you saying do nothing, that sounds like, well, we're just going to set that down. I know that's not what you meant, but that might be a confusing point. Maintain like we do our own homes. None of us can afford necessarily to go all the way to our own houses and have everything we want in our dream. So we have to, maintain and cooperate and try and reach some happy medium. I think that's what we need to do. And keep in mind that these are homes in a way to the original parish community. Granted, we have to look forward, but that doesn't mean we can't keep our history and look back and respect what our elders have done.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Yes, sir.
I just want to say, I think you guys did an excellent job. You commended from an impartial, you looked at our facilities,
Well, we appreciate your time with us today. Father, I want you to close in prayer, obviously, for us. But we thank you so much for welcoming us into your home. I know this has been Irvin's home, so he's back home. But for me, I was a stranger to you, but you've made me feel very welcome, and you've been very kind and gracious to our time together. And I just pray that some of this information will give you good guidance, good direction, and will lead you to a future that God wishes you to have. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan, for initiating a word of thanks to Irvin and to Jerry and to Ryan for the great work that they've done for us. On behalf of our pastoral council and on behalf of our pastoral staff and our parishes, we're grateful for your work. I am so grateful to be your pastor. I don't necessarily know how to be your pastor at this juncture, but I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve. I will rely on our collective wisdom as we move forward together. Moving forward into the future is always hard, because it always requires a letting go of what we know, and a letting go of what we're comfortable with, and letting go of the surroundings that are ours to move to the next place. It is always a great challenge. So I'm grateful. I promise you, or first of all, I ask you to please pray for me. Pray for me that I develop patience and not a sense of urgency about moving forward. Pray that I have a listening heart, that I can listen to what the Lord calls us to, listen to what the needs of the diocese is, listen to what the needs of our local parishes are, and listen to your voices. So pray for me that I develop a good and a listening heart. Julie, you talked about turning the second floor into an apartment. I've been biting at the bit to do something like that, just to create a kitchen upstairs, a dining room upstairs, put a door up there to create just a little bit of separation. It's not just my issue. I mean, Sister Marcia has her office in my living room, and every time she leaves, she always has to clean up and try to turn it back into a living room again. There's stuff that's going on in at the conference room table. It's not even a dining room table anymore. It's a conference room. So those are possibilities. Those certainly are possibilities. I didn't want to move forward and put that kind of expense, because kitchens are expensive, and I didn't want to move forward and put that kind of expense until I knew what some of the other options were and what the direction forward was. So I'm still not going to rush into any direction. So we'll move forward, and we'll do that with patience. When we met with the youth, I don't have the paper in front of me, but we asked our youth if they saw the church as important for them in their future. And what do you think they said? They said yes. Like an absurd number of them said yes. I don't think we would see that in every Catholic community, but it was an absurd number of our kids who said they see the church as important in their future. I think we need to take that to heart when we talk about what are we willing